Hey guys, it's BW and we're back out in the garage. We got a fun video in store for you today. We're doing fabrication work. I always love that because we're jumping back on our 1955 Chevy Gas or Sad News, and we're going to finish up this roll bar job. In the last video we notched out the rear struts and got them ready to go. Now we need to get them attached to the main safety hoop, ran down through the floor and welded into the frame. It's going to be a great anchoring point for when we go to put our safety harness belts on. It makes the car a lot safer, makes me feel good about it, and plus it looks really cool. So why don't you stick around and check it out.
Now, first of all, somebody, I guess maybe we could say it was Kim, but we know it wasn't, forgot to take the stickers off. They got excited and put the safety hoop in, and I think that's going to be in the area where we need to weld. So I got to get them off of there. All right, I'll be right back. Let me get this off. I might have to go get my Goo Gone. You guys remember that? I had to use that for that tar up there. Well, Goo Gone to the rescue again. Took it right off of there. I checked with Kim. I asked her why she done it. She said it wasn't her. She said it was some guy named Joe Rockhead. Go figure. All right. Okay, guys, I'm underneath the car, and I'm going to do the best I can to explain my thinking on the way I want this laid out to drill the holes. Let's pretend for a second this is a stock 1955 Chevy. It has stock wheel wells, and there's factory location shock mounts are going to be used. You can see we have a shock bar. Let's pretend that's not there for a second. All right. The directions say that they would like the rear struts of the roll bar to land directly in front of your shocks. If that were the case on a stock car, we would drill on this vertical section of the floorboard where it meets the trunk pan. All right. But this isn't a stock car. We moved the shock mounts back just a little bit, and we got mini tubs that end up like about an inch into the frame for whatever reason. So you can't drill directly into the floor and land a bar directly on top of the frame to weld it in. It won't work. So we're going to put angles on the outside of the frame like we did in the front. However, because of where it is and where it's going to end up, I'm just explaining this because you do not need those plates, those floor plates, for a full frame car. It says so. I've read, I've done research on it. We did put them in the front to make everybody happy. I don't know that we're going to be able to here. If I were to weld on, if I was to drill the hole on the vertical of the floor pan to bring the strut through, it would be directly in line with this body mount bracket. And I would interfere with the double reinforcement plate on the other side that I'll show you in just a minute, and it would just be a mess. It wouldn't work. All right, so I've laid it out and I've visualized where I think, because that strut's going to be on, let's just call it a 45. Is it a 45, true 45? No, it's probably some other degree, but let's just, for sake of argument, say it's a 45. It's going to come through the floor on an angle. I've decided that I'm going to drill a pilot hole, that front on the right hand side, this side with my finger, that little slash right there. I'm going to put a pilot hole, and then I'm going to go up top, see where it is, and then I'm going to probably end up drilling our hole saw through that. All right, let's go up top now, and I'll show you what I'm trying to explain from the bottom. If I was to run the bar down on the angle, and it came down through the floor, we would have to drill it right where I put that white mark, and that's like encaved into that where the floor brace is and that secondary reinforcement plate, and it would just be a big mess and it wouldn't turn out well. If it was on a stock 55 Chevy like we talked about, it would be about this far into where the wheel well is and still in that vertical. So we're going to have to shoot over that vertical. We're probably going to end up putting a hole in our seat bracket to the package tray brace. All right, to go through that, then go through the floor. That's what I'm thinking we're going to end up doing. Let me get it set up, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Okay, guys, we're back here in the trunk area, and I put a couple arrows to kind of show you where the little pilot hole is. I feel like my next move is to drill the hole saw through there. Then I can get a piece of the scrap tubing I have and lay it in there, and we'll figure out exactly where we want to put the hole in the package tray brace, and then we'll shoot the bar right up to and into the safety hoop, and we should be good there, and we can start laying everything out underneath. Right, guys, well, we went from 0 to 100 real quick. Next thing I know, I'm laying out holes, and I broke out the plasma cutter and the hole saw, so I had to put this slot in our bracket. Let's go around back here and take a look in our trunk area. Oh my goodness. I put another slot right there. I put a hole saw, and then I have to keep coming back and back and back. I'm about to climb underneath the car right now to see if the bar will come up through the bottom, because it will not go in and down through the top. It's just too long. So let's check it real quick and see. The pipes are like 60 inches long. They know you gotta cut them down, but I'm hoping that I can get it in there and mark it, you know? We'll see. I gotta come behind this shock. It won't even go in the slot. It won't even go in the slot. Oh man, we're gonna have to take a measurement, and we're gonna have to trim this pipe. Yeah, just let me show you guys real quick. You know, you get down the wormhole real quick with this. All right, so there's the tube. It's almost 60 inches long, and I'm trying to get it in there so I can make a mark. We tried it on the other, coming in the other way, and you know, you just keep running that slot further back, further back, further back. I'm not gonna run and cut this front. So we're gonna have to cut this tube and then try to get it up in there, you know? That's the only way I can. All right, guys, well, by my calculation, we cut about 8 inches here. I got a mark. So let's go ahead and do that. This doesn't have to be a nice cut. We're just taking some off. That's about a hack job. Yeah, let's try it this way. There it goes. There it goes. All right, let's get this, hold this up in there with a magnet, I guess. Not too bad. There we go, it's nice and tight. I'm just gonna look at it real quick, see if I run it down slope. I think it wants to go this way just a hair. I think when I measured over from the bottom on the other side, I think I was thinking 10 inches up top. What did I do with that tape measure? Dang it. All right, now we just gotta kind of make sure it's sort of square. The measurement I got for the center of the pipe to the end, and then down the bottom, and then ran a square up, it was like 10 inches to the center up at the top. I don't know that it's perfect. I mean, you know, these cars ain't exact, but it's pretty close. This was just a hair off. So we'll just move it over. There it is. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that our saddle, that's exactly 10 inches. We want to make sure our saddle's nice and tight, or reasonably so, the whole way around before we go underneath and mark. And it sure looks like it is. You can see there. All right, we got that. So then we come down here under the bottom. We got a grease pencil here and a piece of angle iron. So I'm gonna take the angle iron, all right, I'm gonna hold it up on there to the top. Now you have, the one thing that I need to bring up is, do you see how the frame kind of got a hump in it? So this side of it is gonna stick up slightly above the frame, right? And the other side is going to be right flush or just a little bit below, but the angle iron will be level. And it'll be welded the whole way around, which leads me to the next thing. There's no way when I mark this and we cut our angle iron angle cut on this pipe and tack it, or maybe,
We'll tack it on and see if we can push it down so that we can weld the pipe out down here and then push it back up and then weld the angle iron to the frame. If I can, great. If I can't, we're gonna have to cut an access hole in our... All right, there's our mark. That's the angle that wants to be on. It's gonna sit flat on our angle iron outrigger for the strut. And that's done. All right, let's see how it fits. All right, guys, well, we got it back up in there, right? We got it squared off. I checked the measurement. Show you real quick. Should be about 10 inches to the center of the tube. And it is. All right, we always check line of sight, guys. Never, if it doesn't look right, you don't want it in there, right? And I think that looks really, really cool. All right, so now we want to go underneath the bottom and make sure our angle is cut correctly to marry it to the angle iron outrigger, okay? You'll notice, like we talked about earlier, I think I mentioned to you, the back will be above the hump a little bit because it's coming down here, but as it's going up, it might be even or slightly above on the front side of it, which is fine as long as we get a full penetration weld the whole way around it. And I think we will. So if we put this on there level, and there it is, guys. Wow. All right, so you guys can see I got the bracket C-clamp to the frame, and it's flat as I can get it on that pipe. I felt my hand around there, and it feels fairly decent. So I'm going to go ahead and make a tack, and then we're going to attempt to get this to come down where I can weld it in place. And cut my floor all up. I'm going to make a cut right here along the bottom. I'm going to come straight up and over here. And I feel with that extra, we should be able to pivot the bar up and bring it down and make a good weld. To prevent it from falling onto the floor, I have my bar clamp right below, or right on the other side, clamping it so once this is cut out, it don't just fall down and move the angle iron on its own. All right, so we can still bring it down nice and slow. At least that's my theory. So I'll just hold on to this for right now. Maybe we can just clean it up and put it back in. We'll see. Whatever the case. There's your last quartering mark right there from when the car was quartered. So if we had to cut a little bit out for our purposes, that's what we had to do. Let's just hope that it'll come out. I cheated our slot right there back this way a little bit. And when I tacked the angle iron on, I cheated like an 1/8 inch towards the front. So it should come out. I'm hoping it does. I gotta set you guys down right here for a second. Let's see what happens. See everything hold. Hey, it worked. Hey. Let's go down to the bottom and see what it's resting on right now. Oh man. And I know these tacks are gonna look like crap, like I said. All right, right now we're stuck on the leaf spring. So let me see if I can do something with that. Hang on one more second. There it goes. Nice and easy coming out. I don't want to disturb that angle iron. Just nice and easy. We got it. All right, so we got the angle iron out. There it is. All right, like I said, I got a crummy tack right there, but we'll clean it off and let's get this welded out. All right, guys, well, I welded it all the way out. No grind marks. Kind of upsetting, can't grind it, because I mean, right there, a couple starts and stops, you know, I'd like to smooth them in, but hey, man, it's solid, it's done. Okay, guys, well, we got the rear strut, the first one, in place. We got the magnet holding it up top, and we got the clamp holding it down in the bottom. Everything's nice and tight. The measurements are correct and it's in place, okay? I'm really happy with it right now. So what I'm gonna do is I switched over to the TIG unit. I wanna get the saddle TIG welded so it don't move.
At least get it tacked, right?
My body don't contort the way it used to. I used to be able to, I could probably almost put my head up in there back in the day, not anymore. All right, so let me get the welder switched over. I'm gonna weld that angle iron out on the bottom, and I'll be right back. The tire after I do the other side as well. Once we get the other side welded in, I'll jack up this back, put it on jack stands. I got to take those race blocks out and put it on jack stands so then I can pull the tires. And I believe I can get that inside flat weld with the tires off. It looks like there's, see if you guys see that big space in between the wheel tub and the frame. I'll be able to get the MIG in there. It might not be a perfect weld, but it'll be a good weld. Alright guys, well we got the rear strut on the driver's side welded all the way in, down bottom. You've seen the welds. I want to show you the TIG welds up top here. Come out really good, man. I'm really happy with the job. Take a look. I lit it up so you guys can get a real good look and make sure you guys can see the welds, and we did a really good job. We got them in. They're welded all the way. It's welded all the way around. Alright, bring it around the other way. Hopefully you guys can see the whole weld. Alright. It's in. I feel like this video is getting a little long in the tooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and edit what I got, and we'll put that up. And then we'll work the other side in the next part. Maybe I'll fast forward it through because now we know what we're doing here. I'll get it in. But we're going to have to make patches and repair all the sheet metal pieces we pulled out of our floor for the trunk, and also for our brace to the package tray. We need to get that repaired. So maybe we'll mix that into a next video that we do on the 55 leading up to some other things. And maybe I'll fill in some stuff like the heater valve. We got to get that done too. All right, we're just pecking away. We're getting stuff done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. If you found it entertaining, great. If you found it informative, even better. How about you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? I could really use the support, okay? Take care, everybody.